Let's get started using the Logos Bible software to read your Hebrew Bible. Chances are your screen begins to look something like this. It's the home layout. It's indicated by the home icon. In place of that, let's click on the library, the open book icon, and begin to enter some resources. Then we'll set them up in an arrangement on the screen that's most useful to us. Why don't we put in Brown Driver Briggs, BDB for Brown Driver Briggs. This will be a lexicon that we'll want to use. Not the abridged, but enhanced. Click on this. And now your screen will change. It may appear something like this. You may have something else appearing in this open panel to the left. That's okay. I'll show you how to get rid of it or to add to it. But at least you should have open Enhanced Brown Driver Briggs. Let's add another lexicon. Or actually, instead of a lexicon, let's put in a Hebrew Bible. LHB for Lexham Hebrew Bible is the one I would recommend you use primarily. Lexham Hebrew Bible. Click on this. Now it'll fill the left-hand page. Don't worry about which page is showing. In my Hebrew Bible, it's showing Psalm 100. In Brown Driver Briggs Lexicon, it's showing Reshit. It's simply recalling things I've looked at recently. Yours may show up opening to the title page. That's what generally happens, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. Let's add some more resources. How about another lexicon? Let's go with Concise Hebrew. And the Concise Hebrew I'm interested in is A Concise Hebrew and Aramaic Lexicon of the Old Testament by William Holliday. Click on that. I see in my layout it decided to drop it into the middle panel, which is fine. Let's add an English version. How about New Revised Standard? Again, clicking the library, NRSV. We'll bring up New Revised Standard. Click on this. I see it's displayed it in the Hebrew panel. That is okay, although I think I'd rather have it over in the center panel. Let's drag and drop that. The way to move any resource from one panel to another is to click on the title itself. Please note the title, we're not clicking on the graphic icon for the resource. As you see over here on the left, we're clicking on the title and then just drag it over to the title zone of the panel where you want it to drop, where the vertical orange tab or strip appears is the sequence that it's going to put it in. Some might be interested in having a copy of the Septuagint available. If you'd like that, let's add it. If not, just ignore the next few moments. Why don't we put in Septuagint? I'm going to scroll down towards the bottom where I find Septuaginta morphologically tagged edition. This is a good one to use. It's not the only one, but that's the one that I'll suggest. It's by Alfred Rolfs. Click on this. It has put it off to the right. I think I'd like my my early language resources collected, so I'm going to drag that one and put it alongside my Hebrew. Again, you can relocate these at any time. Next thing I'd like to do is to change the center column so that instead of all items overlapping each other, I want some of them to be simultaneously visible. What I'll do then is move to the Layouts tab in the upper right. Notice for purposes of interface vocabulary, Logos calls what you're looking at the spatial arrangement of these columns. It's called the layout. So we'll click on Layouts. Please ignore the various presets that my display lists, both graphically and also in terms of titles. Ignore those right now. We want to focus our attention on these gray icons. Currently, we're using, by default, the 2-tile arrangement. I'd like us to use the 3-tile. So hover your cursor over the 3 tiles and click. And now notice that the center column, it's ignoring in the column count, it ignores this far right column. Those are some dedicated tools that just help you move around in Logos. But as far as selected library items, Here, the right-hand column has been segmented into 2 instead of 1. I notice that it's actually shifted some things around. It's moved my Hebrew and Septuagint where I don't really want it. So I think I'm going to move some of those around, just as we showed you drag and drop. You can fast forward or watch me do this. One thing I'll be careful not to do is I won't take out the last resource. I'll leave a placeholder. Otherwise, it'll collapse the panel. So, for example, I want Hebrew and Aramaic. I think I'll put that over in the lower center. And I want my Hebrew Bible far left. Now I can move Brown Driver Briggs. I'd like that top center. I like my English lower center. And my Septuagint, I'd like that alongside the Hebrew. Again, drag and drop. Just make sure you don't totally vacate one panel, otherwise it'll collapse and it'll just show a vacant area, or else one of the other panels will swell to fill the vacancy. Let's set these up in the fashion that we'd like them to greet us when we first fire up Logos. I'd like my Hebrew on top and the left. Enhanced Brown Driver Briggs is fine for the top center. I'd like my concise halot, as it's called, H-A-L-O-T, Hebrew and Aramaic Lexicon of the Old Testament, my concise halot, to appear below. Why am I not having the English appearing? In case you're wondering that, it's because I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing my Hebrew work first instead of leaning on the English. If the English is displayed like this full time, by default, I will subconsciously reach over here, scoop up the English, and then try and make the Hebrew fit it. I don't want to do that. I want to be doing my Hebrew work first, and then if I get stuck or if I'm done with my Hebrew work and I want to compare it, then I'll open up the English. Please discipline yourself in that fashion, and it'll deepen your grasp of the Hebrew. Let's save this so that if it gets messed up, we can come back to it. Here's how to save. We'll go back to Layouts, depress it, and now turn your attention to the blue zone that's appearing top right. It's labeled Now. It's saying this is what the computer is finding as your current layout. We're going to click on the phrase that says Save as Named Layout. When we click on it, it'll give us an opportunity to name it. Let's call it Hebrew Bible. Notice that Hebrew Bible name has disappeared. It's reverted to the default. But we find over here that Hebrew Bible appears, and there's a check mark by it to indicate that we're currently operating on that. Just to show you how this control operates, I had a preset blank in order to begin this tutorial. I'll click on that, and you'll see it restores to the blank page that I used to begin the tutorial. If I want to go back now to the Hebrew Bible, I come to Hebrew Bible and click on it, and it restores Lexham, Septuagint, Enhanced Brown Driver Briggs, and so forth. In the next video segment, we'll show you how to link your Bibles so that they track with each other, and we'll make sure that your lexica are opening when you click on a Hebrew word, and some other features manipulating through the windows.